If you're watching this video, then you probably know that the Emerald City is coming to Sin City. That's right. The Wizard of Oz is coming to the Sphere. So in this video, we're going to tell you everything we know that you need to know before you see this theatrical experience that's going to blow your mind. Give you budgets, how it was done, what to look out for, and everything you need to know that doesn't spoil the presentation. Let's go ahead. We're going to check it out and kick it off right about now. So the first thing we should talk about is the Sphere, because that's the venue for this incredible theatrical experience. And I tell you what, it is awesome. I'm sorry I had to do that. Let's go ahead and talk about the stats and figures about the venue. Now, first and foremost, it stands 366 feet tall. That's 112 meters. And it is 516 feet wide, making it what is being called the largest spherical object in the world. The futuristic venue cost $2.3 billion to build, and it took roughly 5 years to complete. Now, what is so impressive and great about this? It wasn't supposed to be turning a profit yet, but literally thanks to pre-sales of $200,000 of tickets to this movie, it is now profitable. And let me back that up. That's $200 million in pre-sales on this movie alone, which is pretty darn impressive considering the original movie only made $3.2 million in the box office. Now, construction and cost of the Sphere, again, $2.3 billion to make this 875 square feet theater, and this is something you're going to have to see to believe. Now, if you haven't been there before, it seats a full 18,600 people, and with standing room only, you can put about 20,000 people in this massive theater. The outside is lined with thousands of LEDs, and it has a 580,000 square foot programmable LED screen with 1.2 million LED pucks on the outside to make it a great vessel for advertising, for making it look like a mountain or making it look like the moon. This thing is absolutely incredible. The inside, by contrast, has one of the most impressive screens in all the world, a 160,000 square foot LED screen at 16K, so 16,000 pixels is really impressive. And they've also done a great job with spanning from 19,000 by 1350 pixels, offering just an incredible display that is going to trick your eye into thinking you're seeing real life. Now, I've seen Spaceship Earth there, Backstreet Boys, and a whole lot more. So this newly launched Wizard of Oz is going to be very impressive with this 4D multi-sensory experience. The 4D sensors allow wind, temperature, scent, vibration. There's even going to be some apples falling from the ceiling. Now let me read to you what the New York Post is saying about this. They say a hotly anticipated Las Vegas Sphere residency for the Wizard of Oz kicked off on August 28th, putting the beloved 1939 Hollywood classic not just back on the big screen, but at the highest resolution screen in the world. Wow, even the wizard himself has to be impressed by this. It features sound with 167,000 crystal clear speakers and an experience that Madison Square Garden is calling the most wonderful experience in the world. So now let me go ahead and give you some facts about the movie itself. It's actually based on a beloved novel, L. Frank Baum's 1900 novel, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. So 125 years later, we're still experiencing Oz, and it's been a popular children's story for about 40 years before the film came to the big screen. When it was made, Judy Garland was only 16 years old, though the studio dressed her in a corset and gave her a wig to make her appear younger. The famous ruby slippers were originally silver. Yeah, that's right. In Baum's story, they were silver slippers. Filmmakers changed them to ruby red to take advantage of the Technicolor process because they thought they would look better and pop more on screen than traditional silver slippers. And there's an iconic line in the movie that almost didn't exist. The line, Toto, I feel like we're not in Kansas anymore, was improvised during the filming, and it went on to be the most quotable quote of the entire movie. Also, did you know that the makeup was hazardous? Hazardous. The Wicked Witch of the West green makeup was copper based and it was toxic to the actress's skin. That's Margaret Hamilton. And she couldn't eat while wearing it. Yeah. She also suffered second-degree burns during a fiery trapdoor scene gone wrong. So there's a lot of things that were pretty rough about this. Even Judy Garland goes back and says that the diet restrictions they had on her to make her look thinner were quite unhealthy. The Scarecrow's face was a mask of his own skin. Yeah, actor Ray Bolger, his makeup left him with lines that stretched from the prosthetics, and it actually dented his skin. And Toto was paid more than the Munchkins. Toto was a real dog named Terry and earned $125 a week, where the Munchkins were paid only $50 a week. So there's a lot of fun facts about the movie. It also has a long lasting legacy. Though not a major box office hit at first, The Wizard of Oz became a cultural phenomenon, being broadcast on television in 1956. It reached new fans, and suddenly this thing was a hit. So it wasn't until it hit the TV airwaves that this movie really took off into the zeitgeist of 1950s pop culture. Those people introduced it to their kids in the 80s, and now their kids and grandkids are showing it off 2025 in fantastic Las Vegas. And if you want to hear some of the urban legends of the movie, when you watch back the old VHS copy in particular, you'll notice that there is a munchkin hanging from a tree, and people are like, what is going on? That there's this body or figure hanging from one of the trees in the background. It's always been a urban legend. Why is he hanging around? What's going on? Well, as it turned out, that was actually a crow that, actually a large crane that was in the bird. MGM had brought in some actual birds to be on the set to make it look more like it was a real life environment, and it was just a crane in the tree. And the remastered copy with newer technology, you can actually see the bird flapping his wings, and it's not quite as scary. All right, folks, now for the exciting part. I'm going to tell you some things to be on the lookout for in your quest to see the movie. This is pretty fun stuff. Even if you've seen it before, this is going to be a great experience. Now, I've got my notes here. Number one is that it's an immersive experience, not just a movie. The Spheres version is positioned as an immersive experience, a 75-minute production with sensory-like effects, haptic seats, fogs, drones, and physical objects, including actors coming in and out of the theater. So this is not just a screening of the old film, this is an entire production. It's got a massive scale as well. The project cost nearly $100 million, nearly doubling estimates. Reports vary, citing $80 to $100 million, with AI reformatting the experiential elements. And when you're in the tornado itself, it encompasses the entire screen, and a lot of it had to be completely created. If the movie was this big, the experience is this big because it's kind of a full wraparound experience now. It actually took 2 years to remaster, enlisting 2,000 different collaborators, including VFX teams, Google DeepMind researchers, Sphere's creative team, and executives from Warner Brothers who had the license to the movie. So they were all involved in this refilming. All right. So number four, the screen filling AI visual expansion. It was originally shot in 4:3, so it was basically a square. The film was originally outpainted using AI, Google's Gemini, models Veo and Imagen 3 to expand the scenes to wrap around the 160,000 square feet and the 16,000K LED screen. This included creating new visual content, off-frame actions, forest, treetops, extended visual characters. A lot of this was completely remade scene for scene, frame for frame to give you a whole new immersive high definition experience. You can't just take an old movie and put it that large. They had to redo this whole thing all the way down to the freckles on Dorothy's face. Okay. Um, Support and scale is truly amazing. The project handled an estimated 1.2 petabytes of data using AI upscaling and visual expansion. Yeah, every little freckle. They've added scenes with the uncle that were never in the original movie. So they've added new characters and new scenes, or at least new scenes. It's pretty impressive. It's got a remastered soundtrack and score. The entire musical was re recorded, performed by an 80-piece orchestra conducted by David Newman. So it's got a whole new soundtrack to allow for the Sphere's full surround sound experience with thousands of speakers. If you think about that, you can't just turn on an old movie in a surround sound environment like that. They need every single channel, and they just recorded the entire score again. The theatrical editing, this is a 75-minute runtime down from 101 minutes. So they got rid of a few scenes, like If I Were King of the Forest. And I think the 75 minutes is more conducive to a modern audience that maybe doesn't want to sit around quite as long. For me, that's a big selling point. All right, we've taken a lot of information. I'm going to give you a second to go ahead and click that subscribe button, because we're going to be talking about a few more things here, but those subscribes really count. This is a brand new channel, so every subscriber gets us closer to monetization, gets us closer to having a bigger core audience, and allows you to see our videos. So click the subscribe bell and the notification bell for all the notifications. All right, so the sensory effects, that's number 8. The multi-sensory equipment, including tornado winds, fog, swirling leaves, and falling apples during the apple tree scene, snow in the poppy field, pyrotechnics at the wizard's throne, and life-size flying monkeys via drone. Yes, you're going to see some real flying monkeys, and this is impressive. There's also a cameo by executives. Sphere's CEO James Dolan and Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zalav appeared in an uncredited 2-second cameo as Munchkins. Digital Easter eggs for the experience, so be on the lookout for those guys. And high-resolution fidelity with AI touch. 90% of the film was processed with AI enhancement to remove grain, smooth the details, facial detail restoration, including freckles, high-definition visuals, etc. So it's been redone in AI. So folks, the take-home took 2 years to make, $100 million, AI-driven 16K, and 1.2 petabytes of information, and over 90% of the film is digitally enhanced. So a couple other fun facts about the movies. The ruby slippers, again, they're originally supposed to be silver, but they are in the Smithsonian, and they're worth millions. The yellow brick road in Emerald City, their symbolism, oftentimes tied to American culture, of journey, hope, and fantasy. And there's no place like home. There's a lot of symbols in there. So when you watch it, think about there's no place like home, talking about belonging and your own sense of identity. With that sense of identity, a lot of gay districts have taken on to it, not only just the rainbows, over the rainbow, but just the sense of belonging, hope, and fantasy all tied in there. And yeah, there's a lot of going on here. The trio of the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion are oftentimes representing archetypes of humans and their qualities of brains, heart, and courage. One last thing, fun note, is Over the Rainbow as a song, which was Oscar winning, was almost cut out of the film because people didn't think it played well at first. All right, folks, with that being said, leave your comments if you've seen the Spheres Wizard of Oz. If you have 2 cents about the film, if you are a dreamer, go ahead and leave your comments. We'd love to hear from you. And what would you like to hear next on our channel? Would you like more Vegas coverage, more Sphere coverage, or more travel from around the world? Thanks for watching. Adios, amigos.